Welcome back, everyone, to your first challenge task regarding the select statement. In general, after most major concepts, we'll have a quick challenge just to test how well you're understanding the concepts, and these challenge structures will go as follows. We'll first start off with a business situation. So a big part of being good with SQL is being able to translate a business question or business situation into an actual query that gives you insight or information or just directly answers the business question you have. So we'll start off with business situation, and then we'll move on to the challenge question, which focuses a little more on the actual SQL statement. Then we'll give you the expected answer, or what the expected answer structure should look like. Then we'll give you hints, and then we'll finally show you the solution. And between each of these steps, I'll give you fair warning that the next hint or solution is coming up. So let's get started. So the actual business situation we have here is that we want to send out a promotional email to our existing customers, which means we're going to need some information. So let's go ahead and translate this business situation to a general SQL query. What we need to know is the names of these people, their first and last names, so we can address them in this email, and then their actual emails. So how can we do this? Well, we're going to be using a select statement to grab the first and last names of every customer, as well as their corresponding email address. Now, if you want, you can directly jump straight into pgadmin and see if you can figure out what the correct SQL query looks like and what the correct table to query is in order to actually answer this question. Coming up next, I'm going to show you what the expected answer should look like. Okay, here comes the expected answer. So, the expected answer to be displayed after successfully running your query should look something like this. I should see a first name, a last name, and then a corresponding email. Something to keep in mind here is that it may not actually be displayed in this exact order. Later on, we'll talk about how to order results, but right now, the way PostgreSQL works, it just tries to return the results in the most efficient way possible, which, depending on your version of PostgreSQL and your actual machine, may sometimes slightly change the order of things. But in general, in the data output, I'm expecting a first name, a last name, and then an email. Okay, so coming up next are some hints. So here come the hints. So the hints is that you'll want to use the customer table if you haven't figured that out already, and you're going to need to figure out what columns you want in the customer table. So there's different ways you can do that. One is you can use the table dropdown to view what columns are available in pgadmin. Recall there's that left-hand side where you can just drop down and expand the table in order to see what columns are available. Or what you could also do is just say select asterisk from customer, and that would return back the entire table, and there you can view all the columns inside the customer table. Okay, so those are the hints. Hopefully, after seeing these hints, you can successfully run that query and figure it out. Coming up next is the actual solution. So for the solution, let's go ahead and program it out in pgadmin and work through it. Okay, here I am at pgadmin at my query editor. First thing I need to do is figure out what the actual table I should be looking at. So I've already connected to DVD rental up here. I could expand on the schemas, expand on public, and see the tables. And hopefully you're able to figure out that the most likely table would be the customer table. And if we expand on the customer table, I could expand on the columns and see there's a customer ID, a store ID, first name, last name, email, address, etc. So really what I want is the first name, the last name, and the email from the customer table. So the way I can do this is I can say select, I can zoom in here a little bit, and then we'll say first underscore name, last, comma, last underscore name, comma, and then their email from, in all lowercase, that customer table. I'll put a semicolon to denote that's the end of my query. I'll go ahead and run this, and now I take a look at the data output, and I can see the first name, the last name, and the email. All right, so that's it for the select challenge. Hopefully this was pretty straightforward. If you have any questions, feel free to post to the Q&A forums. I'll see you in the next lecture where we start discussing select distinct.